Lesson 1: Medication Side Effects.
Hey Anna, I heard you were having some issues with a new medication. How's that going?
Oh, John, it's been a bit of a roller coaster. The side effects have been quite troublesome.
I see. What kind of side effects have you been experiencing?
Well, I've had some nausea and dizziness, which have been really unpleasant.
That sounds rough. How long do those side effects typically last?
From what I've read, they should go away within a week or two as my body adjusts.
Okay, that's good to know. Hopefully, the discomfort won't last too much longer then.
I certainly hope so. It's been a struggle to stay on top of my daily routine.
I can imagine. Have you been able to find any ways to manage the side effects?
The doctor recommended taking the medication with food, which has helped a bit.
That's a good tip. Are there any other steps you're taking to find relief?
I've also been trying to stay hydrated and get plenty of rest. Anything to ease the symptoms.
Smart thinking. Hopefully, those strategies will pay off and you'll start feeling better soon.
I sure hope so. This whole process has been a learning experience, that's for sure.
No doubt. But it's good that you're being proactive and taking care of yourself.
Absolutely. I'm determined to get through this and see the benefits of the medication.
I admire your perseverance. Wishing you all the best in your recovery.
Lesson 2: Finding the perfect outfit.
Morning, Anna. I need some help picking out an outfit for a formal event. Any suggestions?
Okay, let's think this through. What's the occasion? You want something formal, but not too fancy.
It's a work banquet, so I need to look professional but not overdressed.
A nice dress or suit could work well. What were you thinking of wearing?
I was considering a suit, but I'm not sure if that's too formal for this event.
A suit is a great option, but you could also look into a button-down shirt with slacks.
That's a good idea. Something a bit more casual than a full suit.
Exactly. And you could even pair the shirt and slacks with a sport coat for a polished look.
Ooh, I like that idea. A sport coat would be a nice compromise.
Absolutely. That way you'll look put together, but still comfortable.
Perfect. Now I just need to figure out the right color palette and accessories.
I'd recommend sticking with neutral tones like navy, gray, or black.
Okay, that makes sense. And what about shoes and a tie? Any thoughts there?
For shoes, a nice pair of dress shoes would work well. And a simple, solid colored tie.
Got it. I think I have a good idea of what I'm going to wear now.
Wonderful. I'm sure you'll look fantastic. Let me know if you need any other advice.
Will do. Thanks for your help. I feel much more confident about this now.
Lesson 3, back to class after lunch.
Hey Anna, did you enjoy your lunch break?
It was great. I'm feeling refreshed and ready to dive back into our studies.
Same here. I can't wait to see what we have in store for the rest of the day.
Me too. I heard we have history and science classes this afternoon.
Nice, I've been looking forward to our history lesson. We're covering a really interesting topic.
Definitely. And I'm excited for the science lab we have planned.
Oh yeah, I heard we get to do some hands-on experiments. Should be fun.
Absolutely. I love when we get to apply what we've learned in a practical way.
Me too. It really helps solidify the concepts, you know?
Definitely. And I always feel so accomplished when I can successfully complete the experiments.
Absolutely. It's a great confidence booster.
For sure. Alright, I think I hear the bell ringing. Time to line up and head back to class.
Sounds good. Let's go.
Race you there. Lesson 4, booking accommodations for a trip.
Yo, I need some advice on booking accommodations for my upcoming trip.
Oh, planning a trip, huh? Where are you headed?
I'm thinking about visiting that new city that just opened up. Not sure where to start with booking a place to stay.
Well, there are a few options to consider. Do you want to book in advance or find something when you get there?
That's a good question. I'm not sure which would be better. What do you recommend?
Well, booking in advance can give you more peace of mind and guarantee you have a place to stay. But finding something last minute can sometimes be more flexible.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't want to feel locked in, but I also don't want to risk not having anywhere to stay.
Exactly. My suggestion would be to at least look into booking a place in advance, even if it's just for the first night or two. That way you have a home base to start from.
Okay, that makes sense. And what about the type of accommodations? Should I look at hotels, Airbnbs, hostels?
It really depends on your budget and preferences. Hotels can be more reliable, but pricier. Airbnbs are great for more of a local experience. And hostels are budget friendly if you don't mind sharing space.
I'll have to think about that. Maybe I'll look into a mix of options, start with a hotel and then see about finding an Airbnb for the rest of the trip.
That's a solid plan. Just make sure to read reviews and do your research so you find the right fit.
Good call. I'll start looking into it tonight. Thanks for the helpful advice.
Anytime. Let me know if you need any other tips as you plan your trip. Lesson 5, Offering Assistance.
Morning. I noticed you seem a bit stressed. Is there anything else I can do to help you out?
Oh, hey John. I'm just trying to get everything ready for our big presentation today. There's so much to do.
I see. Well, let me know if there's any way I can assist you. I'd be happy to lend a hand.
That's so kind of you. Let me think. Could you maybe help me double check the slides?
Absolutely. Just point me in the right direction and I'll go through them with a fine-toothed comb.
Great, thanks. And if you don't mind, could you also print out the handouts for the audience?
No problem at all. I'll get that taken care of right away.
You're a lifesaver. I really appreciate you pitching in.
Of course, happy to help. Is there anything else I can do to make your life a little easier today?
Well, now that you mention it, I could use a coffee run. Would you mind grabbing me one?
Not at all. How do you take it?
Just a plain black coffee, please. That would be amazing.
You got it. I'll be back in a jiffy.
Thank you so much. I don't know what I'd do without you.
Don't mention it. That's what friends are for. Be right back.
Lesson 6, Wardrobe Dilemma.
Hey Anna, I've been meaning to ask, where did you get that shirt you've been wearing lately? It looks great.
Oh, this old thing? I've had it for ages. I'm actually looking to update my wardrobe a bit.
Yeah? What kind of pieces are you on the hunt for?
Well, I'm trying to find some more versatile items that I can mix and match. You know, stuff that works for the office, but also for after-work plans.
I hear you. It can be tough to find the right balance between professional and casual.
Exactly. And I don't want to break the bank either. Do you have any recommendations?
Let me think. Have you checked out that new clothing store downtown? They seem to have some really nice quality pieces at reasonable prices.
No, I haven't been there yet. Is it worth a visit?
I think so. They had a lot of nice blouses and slacks that could work for both the office and social events.
That sounds perfect. I'll have to swing by there this weekend.
Awesome. And hey, if you need a second opinion, I'm always happy to tag along and give my thoughts.
That would be great. I could use a guy's perspective.
Happy to help. Just let me know when you're planning to go and I'll clear my schedule.
Will do. Thanks. I appreciate you taking the time.
No problem at all. That's what friends are for.
Lesson 7, St. Francis and the Wolf.
Hey Anna, have you heard the story of St. Francis and the Wolf of Gubbio?
No, I don't think I'm familiar with that one. Tell me more.
Well, it's a pretty fascinating tale about St. Francis and his interactions with a wolf that was terrorizing the people of a town called Gubbio.
Wow, that sounds intriguing. What happened?
Apparently, the people of Gubbio were living in fear because this wolf was attacking their livestock and even some of the townspeople.
That must have been really scary for them. How did St. Francis get involved?
Legend has it that St. Francis went out to find the wolf, and when he encountered it, he addressed it calmly and without fear.
That's so interesting. St. Francis was known for his humility and compassion, wasn't he?
Exactly. He treated the wolf with kindness and respect, and was even able to convince it to stop harming the people of Gubbio.
That's an amazing story. What happened after that?
Well, the wolf actually ended up becoming a kind of pet for the townspeople, and they took care of it for the rest of its life.
Wow, that's such a heartwarming ending. St. Francis really had a way of bringing people and even animals together.
Absolutely. His example of compassion and nonviolence is really inspiring, even centuries later.
I can see why. It's a wonderful story that shows the power of kindness and understanding.
Definitely. It's a great reminder that even the most daunting challenges can be overcome through empathy and goodwill.
I agree. Thanks for telling me about this story. It's really fascinating.
My pleasure. I'm always happy to share these kinds of uplifting tales.
Lesson 8, Meditation Matters.
Alright, Anna, I've been meaning to ask you, do you practice meditation regularly?
I've been trying to get into it more lately. It seems like such a great way to reduce stress and find inner calm.
Definitely. I've been doing regular meditation sessions for a while now, and it's made a huge difference in my life.
That's awesome to hear. What got you started with meditation in the first place?
Well, I was feeling pretty overwhelmed with work and life in general, and a friend recommended I try meditation as a way to find more balance.
That's a great suggestion. How have you been incorporating it into your routine?
I try to set aside 20 to 30 minutes each morning to meditate. It really helps me feel grounded and focused before tackling the day.
That's a great plan. I've been wanting to make meditation a more consistent habit, but I've been struggling to find the time.
I totally understand. It can be tough to make it a priority at first. But once you get into the routine, it becomes so much easier.
Any tips for someone like me who's just starting out with meditation?
One thing I'd suggest is to start small, even just 5 to 10 minutes a day can make a big difference. And try to find a peaceful, quiet space to practice.
That makes a lot of sense. I'll have to give that a try. Do you have a particular meditation technique you recommend?
I find the body scan method to be really effective. It helps me tune into how my body is feeling in the present moment.
Ooh, I'll have to look into that. Thanks for the great advice. I'm feeling inspired to make meditation a regular part of my life.
I'm so glad to hear that. I'm sure you'll find it incredibly beneficial. Let me know how it goes.
Lesson 9: Contract Concerns.
Hey Anna, I wanted to run something by you. I'm looking over this new contract and I have a few concerns.
Oh, really? What's got you worried about the contract?
Well, firstly, the payment schedule seems a bit unclear to me. I want to make sure I understand when I'll be getting paid.
That's a good point to raise. Unclear payment terms can definitely cause issues down the line.
Exactly. And I also noticed a clause about non-compete that I'm not fully comfortable with.
The non-compete clause is something you'll want to review carefully. Those can be tricky.
Yeah, I'm worried it might be too restrictive and limit my options in the future.
Understandable. Have you reached out to the other party to get some clarification on those points?
Not yet, I wanted to get your take on it first before I raise my concerns with them.
Well, I think you're right to be cautious. Those are some valid issues to address up front.
Okay, good to know I'm on the right track. I'll be sure to schedule a call with them soon to discuss.
Definitely. Getting all the details ironed out now will save you a lot of headaches later on.
Absolutely. I appreciate you taking the time to look this over with me. It really helps to get a fresh perspective.
Of course, I'm happy to lend an ear anytime you need to talk through a contract or business decision.
You're the best. I'll be sure to keep you posted on how the contract negotiations go.
Sounds good. I'm glad I could be helpful. Let me know if there's anything else I can do.
Will do. Thanks again.
Lesson 10: Humanitarian Crisis Discussion.
Morning, Anna. I wanted to get your thoughts on the ongoing humanitarian crisis. It's really weighing on me.
Absolutely, I've been following the news closely as well. It's such a devastating situation.
It is. The reports of the rising death toll are just heartbreaking, especially the high number of women and children.
I know, it's truly horrific. The international community seems largely unmoved by it all.
Exactly, that's what I can't understand. How can the world remain so indifferent to such immense suffering?
I wish I had an answer. the lack of urgency and action is just so disheartening.
It really is. I feel powerless watching this unfold, like there's nothing I can do to help.
I know the feeling. But we can't just sit back and do nothing. We have to find ways to get involved and make a difference.
You're right. I've been thinking about donating to some of the relief organizations on the ground.
That's a great idea. Every bit of support can make a real impact for those in dire need.
Definitely. I'm also considering reaching out to my representatives to demand more be done.
Good thinking. Putting pressure on political leaders is crucial to spur real action.
Absolutely. This crisis deserves so much more attention and aid than it's getting.
I agree wholeheartedly. We have to be the voices for those who are suffering in silence.
Couldn't have said it better myself. I appreciate you taking the time to discuss this with me.
Of course. I'm glad we could have this important conversation. Let me know how else I can help.
Will do. I'm sure we'll be revisiting this topic again soon. There's still so much work to be done.
Lesson 11: The Aftermath of Tragedy.
Hey Anna, can I get your thoughts on the aftermath of that terrible accident?
Absolutely, it's been weighing heavily on my mind. The victims are facing such an uphill battle.
I know, the lifetime expenses for surgery and prosthetic care are staggering.
Exactly, the survivors will be dealing with the physical and financial fallout for years.
It's heartbreaking. So many of them will require extensive rehabilitation and support.
Definitely, the road to recovery is going to be incredibly challenging.
And that's if they're able to access the necessary medical care and resources.
Tragically, that's a big if for many of the victims and their families.
It's just so unfair. They're already dealing with the trauma of the accident.
Absolutely, and now they have to worry about how they'll afford the ongoing treatment.
It's overwhelming. I can't even imagine the stress and anxiety they must be feeling.
Me neither. We have to find ways to support them and ease that burden.
Completely agree. I was thinking of organizing a fundraiser to help with the expenses.
That's a wonderful idea. Every bit of assistance can make a real difference.
Definitely. I want to do whatever I can to help these victims get back on their feet.
Lesson 12: The Fitness Journey.
Hey Anna, have you ever tried keeping a workout journal?
I haven't, but I've heard it can be really helpful. Why do you do it?
It's been a game changer for me. It keeps me motivated and on track with my fitness goals.
That's interesting, I'd love to hear more. What kind of things do you track in your journal?
Well, I log my workouts, the exercises I do, the weights I use, and even how I'm feeling.
Ah, I see. That must give you a great overview of your progress over time.
Exactly. It's so satisfying to look back and see how far I've come.
I can imagine. That tangible record of your improvements must be really rewarding.
Absolutely. It's easy to get discouraged, but the journal helps me stay focused.
That's a great point. Having that visual reminder of your progress must be so helpful.
Definitely. Plus, it's fun to look back and see how my workouts have evolved.
I can see the appeal. Do you find it also helps you plan your future workouts?
Definitely. I use the journal to identify areas I need to focus on or exercises to try next.
That's brilliant. It's like having a personalized roadmap for your fitness journey.
Exactly. I highly recommend giving it a try. It's made a big difference for me.
Thanks for the suggestion. I think I'll start keeping a workout journal myself. Lesson 13, The Morning Motivation Challenge.
Morning. I heard you say you wish you had more motivation to exercise in the morning.
Yeah, I really struggle with that. I know it's good for me, but it's just so hard to get started.
I totally understand. I used to be the same way, but I found a few tricks that have helped.
Oh, please share. I'm desperate for any tips that could help me become a morning workout person.
Well, the first thing is to make it as easy as possible. Lay out your workout clothes the night before.
That's a good idea. Removing that barrier of having to get ready in the morning makes sense.
Exactly. And try to pick workouts you actually enjoy, not just what you think you should do.
That's a great point. If I dread it, I'm never going to stick with it. Finding something fun is key.
Absolutely. And don't be too hard on yourself if you miss a day. Just get back on track the next day.
That's really good advice. I tend to get down on myself if I slip up, which just makes it worse.
For sure. Celebrate the small wins, don't focus on perfection. Baby steps are still progress.
I like that perspective a lot. Okay, I'm feeling inspired to give the morning workouts another try.
Awesome, I'm glad I could provide some useful tips. Let me know how it goes, I'm rooting for you.
Will do, thanks, John. Wish me luck. Lesson 14, The Productivity Puzzle.
Hey Anna, how's that big project of yours coming along?
Ugh, not great to be honest. I'm really struggling to stay on top of it.
Oh no, what's been the biggest challenge so far?
Just managing my time effectively. It feels like it's taking forever to get anything done.
I see, yeah, time management can be tough with big projects. How long do you think it should take?
Well, the estimate was 4 to 5 hours per task, but it's been taking me twice as long.
That's interesting. Have you tried breaking down the tasks into smaller chunks?
I have, but then I get distracted or sidetracked, and it throws off my whole schedule.
Ah, I see, that's a common problem. Have you considered using the Pomodoro technique?
No, what's that? Anything that could help me stay focused would be a lifesaver.
It's a time management method where you work in 25-minute intervals with short breaks.
Oh, that sounds really helpful. I'm going to give that a try, thanks for the tip.
No problem at all, happy to share what's worked for me. Let me know if it helps.
Will do, I'm hoping it's the productivity boost I need for this project.
I'm sure it will be. Wishing you the best of luck with it, you've got this.
Lesson 15, The Language Learning Journey.
Yo, Anna, I heard you've been working on learning a new language. How's that going?
It's been a real mixed bag, to be honest. I feel like I'm making progress, but it's slow.
I can imagine. Learning a new language is such a huge undertaking. What's been the biggest challenge?
Definitely the vocabulary. I can learn words like box and cat, but then struggle with the grammar.
Ah, yes, that's a common issue. The vocabulary is the easy part, but the sentence structure can be tricky.
Exactly. It's like my brain just can't seem to make the connection between the words and how to use them.
I hear you. Have you tried any specific techniques to help with the grammar side of things?
Well, I've been listening to a lot of podcasts and watching TV shows in the language, which has helped.
Nice, that immersion approach can be really effective. What about working with a tutor or language partner?
That's a great idea. I bet having that one-on-one interaction would force me to practice the grammar more.
Definitely. And they could provide immediate feedback to help reinforce the proper sentence structure.
Yeah, I think I'm going to look into finding a language partner. That could be the missing piece.
Awesome, I'm sure that will make a big difference. Just stick with it, language learning takes time.
I know, it's easy to get discouraged. But I'm determined to keep pushing through. Thanks for the encouragement.
Anytime, that's what friends are for. You've got this, I believe in you.
Lesson 16, The Ethical Dilemma.
Hey Anna, can I get your take on something?
Absolutely, what's up?
I've been thinking about this ethical dilemma. Is bribery ever justified, or is it just always wrong?
Oh man, that's a tough one. I can see both sides of the argument.
Right? On one hand, it just feels morally wrong to try and buy your way out of something.
Yeah, bribery is usually seen as unethical and corrupt. It goes against principles of fairness and the rule of law.
Exactly. But then on the other hand, there could be extenuating circumstances where it might be the only way to get something done.
True, like if it was a matter of life or death or something. The ends could potentially justify the means.
I don't know. Even in extreme situations, it still feels wrong to me. It just sets a bad precedent.
I get that. It's a slippery slope. Once you start compromising your ethics, it becomes easier to do it again.
Right, and then before you know it, bribery becomes the norm instead of the exception. It corrupts the whole system.
Definitely. It's a tricky balance between pragmatism and principles. I don't think there's a clear-cut answer.
Yeah, I agree. It's the kind of thing that probably has to be evaluated on a case by case basis.
Exactly. There's no one-size-fits-all solution. It really depends on the specific circumstances.
For sure. Anyway, thanks for sharing your thoughts on this. It's given me a lot to think about.
Anytime, I enjoy a good ethical debate. Let me know if you come to any conclusions on this.
Will do. Appreciate you taking the time to discuss it with me.
Lesson 17, Decorating with Memories.
Morning, Anna. Got a quick question for you.
Sure, what's up?
I'm trying to spruce up my place a bit. Any tips on how to make it feel more homey?
Ooh, I love decorating. One thing I always recommend is adding personal touches.
Personal touches, huh? Like what exactly?
Well, hanging up artwork or photos is a great way to make the space feel more lived in.
That makes sense. I do have a few sentimental pieces I could put up.
Definitely. Displaying things that have meaning for you makes it feel more like your own home.
That's a good point. What about other decor ideas? Anything else I should consider?
Maybe some plants or flowers? They add a nice natural element.
Plants, huh? I've never been the best with keeping those alive.
Oh, no worries, there are plenty of low-maintenance options these days. Even just a little succulent can make a difference.
Okay, I'll have to look into that. Anything else you'd suggest?
Oh, what about some cozy throw blankets or pillows? It makes the space feel inviting.
Good call, that could be really nice. I'll have to pick some up next time I'm out.
Awesome, I'm sure whatever you do, It'll make your place feel like a proper home in no time.
I appreciate the tips. This is super helpful as I get started.
Happy to help. Let me know if you need any other decorating advice.
Will do, thanks again.
Lesson 18, Trustworthy Recommendations.
Hey Anna, you got a minute? I could use your advice on something.
Of course, what's up?
Well, I'm looking to buy a new coffee table for my place, but I'm not sure where to start.
Ooh, coffee table shopping, fun. I know some great places to check out.
Really? I'd love any recommendations you have. I want something that's both stylish and durable.
Definitely, I'll give you a few options. I'll definitely add it to my list, you won't be disappointed, trust me.
Awesome, I appreciate that. What kinds of stores should I be looking at?
There's this really cool local furniture shop that has some beautiful handcrafted pieces.
Handcrafted, huh? That sounds right up my alley.
Yeah, the quality is top-notch. And the owners are super friendly, they'll help you find exactly what you need.
Good to know. Anything else you'd recommend checking out?
Ooh, have you tried that new modern home goods store that just opened up downtown?
No, I haven't actually. What are they like?
They have the most stunning minimalist designs. I bet you could find something perfect there.
Minimalist, huh? I'll have to swing by and take a look.
Trust me, you won't be disappointed. Their selection is really impressive.
Alright, well, I'll definitely add those to my list. Thanks for the great recommendations.
Of course, happy to help. Let me know if you need anything else.
Will do, I appreciate it.
Lesson 19, Exploring Career Options.
Yo, can I run something by you?
Absolutely, what's on your mind?
Well, I've been thinking a lot about my career lately. There are just so many jobs I could see myself doing.
Ooh, that's exciting. What kind of options are you considering?
I don't know, honestly. I've thought about working in a restaurant, maybe as a server or chef.
Really? I could totally see you rocking that. You've got the people skills for it.
You think so? I'm just not sure if that's the right fit for me long term.
Well, what else are you thinking about? There are so many possibilities out there.
That's the thing, I feel a bit overwhelmed by all the choices. I just don't know where to start.
Well, why don't we make a list and talk through some of the pros and cons of each?
That's a great idea. Okay, let's see. I've also thought about getting into sales or marketing.
Ooh, sales could be really interesting. You're such a people person, I bet you'd be awesome at it.
You really think so? I've always been intrigued by the idea of closing deals.
Absolutely. And with your charisma, I think you'd be a natural.
Alright, well, that's definitely one to consider. What about something in tech?
Tech, huh? You know, I have a friend who works in software development and loves it.
Software development, huh? I don't have much experience with that, but it could be worth looking into.
Definitely, the tech industry is booming right now. There are so many different paths you could take.
Yeah, that's a good point. Lots of options to explore there.
Lesson 20: Exploring the Great Outdoors.
Hey, I've got a question for you.
Shoot, I'm all ears.
I've been thinking about planning a big camping trip this summer. What do you think?
Ooh, that sounds like an amazing idea. Where are you thinking of going?
I'm not sure yet, but I was hoping you might have some suggestions. I can only imagine how breathtaking the scenery must be out in nature.
Oh, absolutely. There are so many beautiful spots in our region to explore. Have you considered the mountains?
The mountains, huh? That does sound pretty incredible. I've always wanted to try my hand at hiking.
It's the best. The views from the top are just jaw-dropping. And the fresh mountain air is so rejuvenating.
Ah, that sounds right up my alley. Any specific trails or campgrounds you'd recommend?
Let me think. I heard there's this incredible waterfall hike about an hour outside the city. The trail isn't too strenuous either.
A waterfall hike, huh? That sounds perfect. I love the idea of being able to swim and cool off after a long trek.
Exactly. And there's usually a nice campground right near the trailhead too. It's such a serene, picturesque spot.
Awesome, that's definitely going on the list. Anything else I should consider when planning this trip?
Well, make sure you pack all the essentials: sturdy hiking boots, layers of clothing, first aid kit, that sort of thing.
Got it, safety first. Any close calls you've had on your outdoor adventures?
Oh gosh, one time I got a little too close to a black bear on a hike. Scared the daylights out of me.
Whoa, no way. How'd you get out of that one?
Haha, let's just say I hightailed it out of there as fast as my legs could carry me. Definitely a heart-pounding moment.
I can only imagine. Well, thanks for all the great tips. I'm getting more and more excited about this camping trip.
Lesson 21: The Future of Work.
Morning. Can I get your thoughts on the future of work?
Absolutely. I've been really fascinated by all the changes happening in the job market lately.
Same here. It seems like new technologies and industries are popping up all the time.
Totally. Keeping up with the latest skills and trends is essential these days.
No kidding. I can barely keep up with all the new software and tools employers are looking for.
Tell me about it. It feels like I'm constantly having to learn new things to stay competitive.
Agreed. Do you think traditional jobs are even going to exist in the next 10 to 20 years?
That's a great question. I imagine a lot of roles will become automated or digitized in some way.
Whoa, really? You think robots and AI could replace human workers?
I mean, it's definitely a possibility, especially for more routine, repetitive tasks.
Wow, that's pretty wild to think about. So, what kind of jobs do you think will be in demand in the future?
Probably roles that require more creative, analytical, or interpersonal skills. Things that are harder to automate.
Interesting. So, jobs that leverage uniquely human abilities, huh?
Exactly. Professions like software development, data analysis, marketing, and healthcare come to mind.
Makes sense. Those all seem to involve a good mix of technical and people skills.
Absolutely. And the ability to adapt and learn quickly will be crucial too.
No doubt. The pace of change is only going to accelerate, it seems.
Definitely. It's an exciting, but also a bit daunting, time for the job market.
Well said. Lots of challenges, but also plenty of opportunities, it sounds like.
Lesson 22: The United Kingdom's Royal History.
Hey Anna, did you know the Kingdom of England and Kingdom of Scotland were officially joined in 1707?
Really? I didn't realize that. What led to the two countries uniting?
Well, it all started with the Acts of Union in 1707, which merged the two kingdoms into the Kingdom of Great Britain.
Fascinating. Was there a specific reason they decided to unite at that time?
From what I understand, there were a few key factors, mainly political and economic interests.
Ah, I see. So it was a strategic move by the ruling monarchs back then?
Exactly. The English and Scottish crowns had been united since 1603 under King James VI and I.
I see, so there was already some shared leadership before the full political union.
Right, the two countries had been closely linked for over a century before the Acts of Union.
Interesting. And is that when the United Kingdom as we know it today was officially formed?
Not quite. The United Kingdom as the collective name for Great Britain and Northern Ireland came later, in 1927.
Ah, I see, good to know the distinction. The modern UK has a pretty complex history, doesn't it?
Definitely. Centuries of royal lineages, political maneuvering, and territorial changes.
Wow, it's amazing how much the map of Europe has shifted over the years.
No kidding. The UK alone has gone through so many transformations and mergers.
It really puts into perspective how fluid national borders and identities can be.
Absolutely. History is full of these kinds of political realignments and power shifts.
Absolutely. It's a great example of how things are constantly evolving, even for long established countries.
Definitely. The UK's royal history is certainly a fascinating and complex one.